and let's talk about prevention of tetanus. You have this typical feature called as opisthotonus. Talking about a little bit about the microbiological aspect, we have the Clostridia tetani, which is a characteristic gram-positive, anaerobic, spore-forming, drumstick-shaped bacteria, bacilli. So what is MCQ in this? Spore-forming. Spores are resistant to something and they are sensitive to something. They are sensitive to heat with steam. So they are sensitive to autoclave at 121 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes time. So for 20 minutes time, 121 degrees Celsius, that can kill the clostridial spores as well. They are resistant. They are typically resistant to boiling at normal temperatures. Normal means up till 100 degrees Celsius. They are also typically resistant to all the low level disinfectants like phenols or the crisols. So therefore, Clostridia tetani is one of the disease with the public health importance for us. Next, coming over is a little bit about the toxin. You all know that in the Clostridia tetani, we have two types of toxins. We have a tetanolysin, and we have a tetanospasmin. Tetanospasmin is one of the most powerful toxin which we know till now in mankind. It blocks the presynaptic inhibitory neurons. It blocks the presynaptic inhibitory neurotransmitter release from the presynapses, and this blockage of the neurotransmitter release, inhibitory neurotransmitter, causes unopposed muscle contraction. This unopposed muscle contraction is what is the problem. So typical clinical features would be due to unopposed muscle contraction like lockjaw, or we have that opisthotonus position, and that is the reason it is called as a tetany, that the tetany is there. Another point for you to remember is there are many types of tetanus you will encounter. We have traumatic tetanus, otogenic tetanus, puerperal tetanus, but please remember that neonatal tetanus or tetanus neonatorum, this is called as the 8th day disease, and it is a disease of public health importance. Tetanus is not like, of course, that's also a point of public health importance, but neonatal tetanus is a public health important disease because of the simple reason of the quantum of the people children which can be infected. Most common reason that why do children get neonatal tetanus is infection from the mother, or particularly it is due to unsafe environment. It is due to infected umbilical stump. So these are the reasons by which we get tetanus. So talking about Clostridia tetani from the epidemiology point of view, the source of infection and the reservoir of infection, it is same, that is soil. The mode of transmission, if you remember your lecture on infectious disease epidemiology, I talked to you that mode of transmission for direct mode of transmission is DTIX. Droplet borne, transplacental, inoculation, contact, and soil. So the mode of transmission for tetanus is through soil, that is through inoculation, or through direct contact. It can go through direct contact, right? The incubation period is very ranging. It ranges from as low as 6 to 10 days to maybe weeks or months So next is what we need to do is about the tetanus prevention. For tetanus prevention, we have two types of facility available. We can either have an active immunization or we can have a passive immunization. The passive immunization is using a human tetanus immunoglobulin. This is given at the dose of 250 international units to all ages, whenever and wherever it is required. This human tetanus immunoglobulin has a lifespan. The effectivity can range for up till around 30 days. It is effective. If you talk about active immunization, in this active immunization, you are giving either a monovalent vaccine, that is TT, that is tetanus toxoid. It's a tetanus toxoid vaccine. Or we are giving it along with the DPT, that is a combined vaccine. You give it as DPT, or even you can combine it with pentavalent vaccine. Pentavalent vaccine. Under the mission Indradhanush, for more details, please see the lecture on vaccines and immunization. Under the mission Indradhanush, can you beat that? We are giving 3 primary doses. Can you beat that? We are under mission Indradhanush giving 3 primary doses plus 3 to 4 booster doses. So we are giving at 6, 10, 14 weeks, we are giving pentavalent vaccine. Plus we are giving at 16 to 24 months one DPT booster. Plus we are also giving at 5 to 6 years one DPT booster. I hope you remember it. Then at 10 years, you are giving one TT booster or TD vaccine, and then at 16 years, you are again giving a TD vaccine. So you are giving so many, 3 plus 3 to 4 times we are giving booster. But please remember that is under Mission Indradhanush. That is a immunization schedule. Don't worry about this thing. So many times students get confused that, sir, what is the schedule for TT vaccine after trauma? The schedule is not the national immunization schedule. The recommended TT schedule, now I'm going to tell you the recommended TT schedule is simple: 2 primary doses. Plus or minus, you can give 1 or 2 booster doses in case it is required. But as such, 2 primary doses is what is required, usually given in the gap of 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes we even give from 6 to 8 weeks. In case of traumatic cases, we are giving at the gap of, usually we keep a longer gap. The more gap we keep, it is seen that better immunoefficiency has occurred. So it is given at 0 day, and then it is given, another shot is given at 1 to 2 months after the first vaccine. Then the booster is supposed to be given after 1 year of the last vaccine. And then in case the person wants another booster, you are applicable to give another booster after 5 years of the last booster. So 2 primary doses you are going to give day 0. The next primary dose you can give at least after 1 month. You are expected to give at 2nd month. Then the booster dose will be after 1 year of the last primary vaccine, and the second booster will be after 5 years of the last booster dose. So anyways, that booster dose is not of the problem. The problem is only with the primary doses. Mostly we are sticking with the 2 primary doses. I think you all know that in pregnancy also we are giving 2 primary doses without any booster. So that is what is required from the Government of India, and of course for prevention of tetanus, minimum 2 primary doses should be given. Please remember that this is another point of story that sometimes students get confused when to give TD vaccine and when to give TT vaccine. Please remember, for all the trauma cases, we are giving TT vaccine only. TD vaccine is only reserved for the national immunization schedule. Under the schedule, the children will get TD vaccines. The pregnant mother will get TD vaccine. Otherwise, for all general cases, we are giving TT schedules only. Now talking about what is the schedule for prevention of tetanus. So you have category A, B, C and D person. The person from category A will be any person who has complete TT immunization, who has had a complete TT immunization or a booster dose within last 5 years. Within last 5 years is known as category A. If the person had taken 5 to 10 years, that is known as category B. If the person has taken any time more than 10 years, complete TT course, that is 2 doses primary, or if the person has taken booster dose more than 10 years, that is category C. And if the person does not know anything about himself, not known, and the person is the most, like he is the spiritually enriched person who doesn't know about his TT status, that is category D. So this is one of the most simple categories to deal with, that you don't even know what about your TT status. Next is, what is the vaccine schedule that we are going to give to these people. So the vaccine is primarily dependent on the injury or the wound type. The wound can be a clean wound or an unclean wound, right? if it is a category A, category B, category C, or category D. If it is category A person, that is who had taken vaccine in the last 5 years, within the last 5 years. So then you don't need to do anything, only wound care is required. Only wound care is required in both the scenarios in category A. In category B, a person who had taken for more than 5 years but less than 10 years, in those cases we are going to give wound care. That's already there. Wound care is always there. So you can remember it as wound care is always there. So in category B, we are going to give the wound care, plus we are also going to give 1 dose of tetanus toxoid. So 1 TT shot has to be given in case it's a clean wound. In case it's an unclean wound, again you give 1 dose of tetanus toxoid. Now the difference will start occurring in case of category C. Category C patients were who had taken for more than 10 years. So category C was the last vaccine was taken more than 10 years. In case of clean wound, again you will give 1 TT toxoid, but in unclean wounds or contaminated wounds, unclean or contaminated wounds or infected wounds or open wounds, in those cases we will give 1 tetanus toxoid plus tetanus immunoglobulin. We are also giving 250 international units of tetanus immunoglobulin. In category D, the person who does not know anything about his TT status, what are you going to do? You have to give complete TT schedule. So this complete TT schedule will be consisting minimum of 2 primary doses plus a booster dose if applicable. And in case of unclean wounds, you have to do wound toileting and wound care, plus you have to give complete TT immunization plus, very important, tetanus immunoglobulin. So please remember that tetanus immunoglobulin is given only for category C and category D unclean wounds. Okay, so that's what you need to remember, that the utility of the category utility of the tetanus immunoglobulin. Next we come over to this last point, that about the neonatal tetanus. If you talk about neonatal tetanus, India is very proud to say that we have accomplished a neonatal tetanus elimination in year 2015 in August-September 2015, India achieved the elimination level. What is the elimination level that we are talking of? That if the neonatal tetanus is less than 1 case per 1,000 live births. If it is less than 1 case per 1,000 live births, this is as per the WHO criteria. So the WHO criteria for elimination is less than 1 case per 1,000. India achieved in year 2015. India is having its district categorization for neonatal tetanus. So please mind it, in district categorization we might use the word neonatal tetanus eliminated area. That doesn't mean that that is the elimination criteria. So let's just have a look at what are the district categorization. The neonatal tetanus, we can have something called as a neonatal tetanus high risk area. Then we have a neonatal tetanus control area, and in the last we also have a neonatal tetanus elimination area. So when do we say control, when do we say elimination, and when do we say high risk areas? So we are going to talk of 3 categories. In case of the neonatal tetanus incidence of neonatal tetanus considered as per 1,000 live births. If it is more than 1, that is called as high risk area. Or if the TT coverage in the area, what do you mean by TT coverage? Complete TT coverage, that is 2 or more doses. 2 or more doses or of the immunization, that is known as complete TT coverage. We are talking of complete TT coverage. If the complete TT dose coverage is less than 70%, that is also a high risk area. Or if the number of proportion of clean deliveries in the area. What do you mean by clean delivery? Refer to the MCH module. Clean delivery in the area. What is clean delivery? Which is conducted by a trained birth attendant or a trained dai or a trained professional. So any delivery which is by a trained professional, that is a clean and safe delivery. Clean means there is disposable delivery kits. Safe means that the person is safe. So in case there is clean deliveries which is less than 50%, that's so bad. So complete TT coverage of less than 70%, neonatal tetanus more than 1, this area is called as high risk area. Please remember, this is or. Either you have neonatal tetanus more than 1 per 1000, or the TT coverage is less than 70, or the clean delivery percentage is proportion is less than 50. Next is, when will you call a control area? We will call a control area if the neonatal incidence per 1000 live birth is less than 1 and the TT coverage is more than 70% and the clean delivery is more than 50%. Are we understanding this? So please remember, there's a difference between the ors and the ands. Boolean, you remember the word Boolean? Boolean means or and. So there is an important difference between the high risk and the control. When will you say elimination? Elimination is if the TT coverage, if the neonatal incidence in the area is less than 0.1, please. If the neonatal tetanus is less than 0.1 and if the TT coverage is more than 90% and if the clean delivery is more than how much? More than 75%. If the neonatal tetanus is less than 0.1, TT coverage more than 90% and clean delivery more than 75%, that area will be called as a neonatal tetanus elimination area. Mind it, the technical definition of neonatal tetanus is different. Technical definition of neonatal tetanus elimination in an area is less than 1 case of neonatal tetanus incidence per 1000 live births. So with that, thank you so much for watching this module. See you next time.